Good.
Okay. This is a good height. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm pleased to be here today on behalf of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. UCC is the voice of Canada's Ukrainian community. We bring together under one umbrella all the national, provincial, and local Ukrainian Canadian organizations across the country. With us today is our Ottawa National Office staff. Together with our member organizations and provincial councils and local branches, UCC has been representing the interests of one of Canada's largest ethnic communities since 1940. We've been instrumental in shaping Canada's social, economic, and political landscape. Today, UCC is launching 6 key policy priorities in advance of this year's federal election. Our policy priorities are the result of extensive consultation and research, which has included community engagement over the past half year. This engagement included a community survey where we asked the community members on the steps that they believe our community needs to take to represent the views of our community in the election campaign. UCC is now moving forward with a common vision on a wide range of issues, including human rights, security, foreign affairs, multiculturalism, education, and youth, as well as supports for new Canadians and strategies for dealing with online hate and disinformation, as well as security for seniors. The policy recommendations we've developed will provide an important direction for our future policy discussions with federal decision makers as we head into the election campaign. I'd now like to provide some detail about each of the 6 themes. The first 2 themes touch on Canada-Ukraine relations, which is an issue that has been important to our community especially since the illegal invasion and occupation of Crimea in 2014. It is our position that Ukraine needs Canada and its other Western partners to remain fully committed and engaged to a lasting peace on Europe's eastern border, addressing the severe ongoing human rights abuses of Ukrainian citizens by the Russian Federation, and increasing international assistance and humanitarian aid for internally displaced people and others affected by the ongoing war in Ukraine. With that in mind, our first theme is strengthening Canada-Ukraine defense and security relations. This policy brief document includes a series of recommendations for the Government of Canada, first and foremost of which is a request for the Government of Canada to provide defensive weapons to Ukraine. We also call on the Government of Canada to lead the international community in increasing sanctions against Russia and using Canada's Magnitsky Act legislation in response to sanctioning human rights abusers on Ukrainian citizens. Our second theme ties in closely with the first, supporting democratic and economic reform in Ukraine. As a key international partner of Ukraine, Canada's continuing commitment to support anti-corruption and capacity-building measures will be critical to Ukraine's long-term success. Our recommendations include measures to increase international assistance and humanitarian aid funding, promoting trade and investment with Ukraine in fulfillment of the Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement, and supporting multilateral innovations such as the Ukraine Reform Conference taking place next week in Toronto. Our third theme is fighting online hate and disinformation. The Ukrainian community in Canada has been experiencing an increasing volume of targeted online operations in the form of organized disinformation. This information warfare, as part of the total Russian war on Ukraine and its allies, is intended to undermine our community by distorting historical truths and creating alternative facts, sowing division, weakening support for democratic institutions. We propose a series of recommendations to define, identify, and monitor online hate and disinformation in Canada, to strengthen Canada's cybersecurity infrastructure, and to work together with traditional as well as social media networks to ensure that online hate and disinformation is identified and curbed. Our fourth theme is supporting newcomers to Canada. Together with our many member organizations and local branches, the UCC has developed an informed frontline perspective on the issues and challenges facing new Canadians as they settle into our country. We know that strong public policy can make all the difference in the success of newcomers, and our recommendations encompass a broad range of supports, such as streamlining the accreditation process, promoting visa-free travel for Ukrainians traveling to Canada, and easing the current restrictions in order to allow permanent residents to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. Our fifth theme is helping our culture flourish. The UCC recommends the renewal and expansion of investments in multiculturalism and heritage programming, including robust arts and culture funding. We are also calling on the Government of Canada to renew the previously available tax credit for parents of children attending heritage language schools. We also propose that the government table legislation recognizing October 28th as the annual day of commemoration of Canada's First World War national internment operations. Our sixth and final theme is ensuring security and dignity for seniors. the Ukrainian Canadian Congress advocates for concrete measures to address the challenges of our aging population, which are becoming more pressing with each passing year. Our recommendations include measures on pension protections, pharmacare supports, working with the provinces to ensure quality long-term care, and a federal tax credit for family caregivers. In closing, I want to thank our staff team, our board, and all the community members and member organizations who have helped us in the past half year refine and focus the issues that unify our community. Thanks to their participation and commitment, the Ukrainian Canadian Congress has developed informed, frontline perspectives on public policy challenges that not only impact our community, but the broader Canadian public. We look forward to sharing these details with you on our website. We look forward to working with federal decision makers as the lead up to the federal election takes place. Visitors are asked to go to our website at ucc.ca/yourvoice, where our full policy briefs will be posted. Thank you once again for your attention today, and we would be prepared to take any questions.
So UCC will be meeting with President Zelensky next week in Toronto. What do you want to discuss with the President?
So President Zelensky confirmed yesterday that he'll be in Toronto for up to 3 days. So we will be seeing him a number of times, including at the Ukraine Reform Conference and other venues. We're developing an agenda that's based on our recommendations, talking about the issues we feel are important. First of all, informing him about our community, about our work in Canada, the advocacy we do on defense and security to ensure that Canada remains Ukraine's partner. And I believe we will have on our agenda, meeting with him, topics such as public reform in Ukraine, the investment climate, his views, which we want to hear on foreign policy, on recent events such as the Parliamentary Assembly of Europe. We're very much hoping that he shares with us his views for Ukraine's foreign policy, and we will share with him our advocacy work and look for partnerships where we can combine our efforts.
Okay, and sorry, go ahead. And regarding Parliamentary Assembly, so are you sure that it won't happen in Canada? So Russia won't be brought back to the table, given the decision of Europe that during the Parliamentary Assembly that they said that we have to talk with Russia, even though it violates human rights. So will Canada remain the steadfast supporter of human rights?
Thus far, we have worked with the previous government and the current government, and we will work with the next, whoever is elected in the next election to, in our view, ensure that Canada has a very strong partnership with Ukraine and is steadfast in the approach to Russia. As you know, we believe that strong sanctions, as well as military support to Ukraine are a good combination, as well as other measures to isolate Russia and to punish the Russian Federation, the government officials which have illegally occupied and annexed and invaded Crimea and support the war in eastern Ukraine. So we will be doing our part as Canadians to talk to political leaders from every party to ensure that they understand and are well informed about the situation in Ukraine. And we're confident that the major political parties that we've spoken to do understand that now. We've seen that the Canadian Parliament is unanimous in its support of Ukraine at the moment, but with a new Parliament being elected, we will continue to do our work to make sure they understand the views of the community.
Okay.
Дякую.
Any other questions? You want to add something?
No, that's it.